welcome to the Good News is with your girl Mantate. I'm so excited today because I'm talking about an initiative in Botswana. Well, Botswana is kind of like my home country, kind of like I'm Zimbabwean. My dad is from Botswana. But other than the excitement of my home country, I just wanted to speak about a very positive initiative that's being done. And hopefully at the end of this video, I'm going to have some friends and colleagues, family in Botswana actually volunteering some form of support to these guys because they really need it and they're doing a very good job. So the initiative is called the Vendors Drive, and the idea behind the Vendors Drive is that we're recognizing the fact that a lot of people actually are in the informal sector. We're recognizing that there are people who live off from selling food in the streets, selling airtime in the streets, selling different things in the streets. And there are certain people like gardeners, house helpers and things like that are not able to go to work, and there is no form of safety net for them in most of these countries. So these guys came together and said, how do we sort of like mobilize resources and support to make sure that during this time of the lockdown when we're trying to fight COVID-19, we actually make sure that these vendors are covered, these different people that are affected by this lockdown are actually covered. So the organization behind this powerful initiative is called Awake, Arise and Shine Society. The one thing I like about this organization particularly is that it's a women-led youth organization, which is kind of interesting because it's young people championing change, or young people actually bridging the gap and saying the government is trying to mitigate or rather stop the spread of COVID-19 by putting us on lockdown, but on the other hand there are vendors that get affected. So how do we as young people, how do we as women actually come together to ensure that those people are supported, rather than partner the government and whatever stakeholder is in the country to make sure that everyone is supported in one form or another. So they've got actually different strategies that they're using to make sure that they support those different people. And I'll just run through like 4 of them. The first one that I like the most is called the vendor mental health. One of the questions that we've really been having around this whole pandemic is that what is the level of depression right now? Like, people are already depressed because of a lot of things, but it's even worse now that I'm forced to stay at home. And some people don't have Wi-Fi to spend their whole time online where everyone seems to be happy. And we've really been thinking that there is need to actually support in terms of mental health awareness. So what these guys are doing through this vendor mental health program is that they're actually looking out to local coaches, life skills coaches, they're looking for motivational speakers, spiritual leaders, religious leaders, teachers and people like that to say, how do we use you to communicate a message that can empower that young person, that can empower that vendor or that person that's at home that's not really dealing with it in the very best of ways. And then the other program that they have is called the Essential Package Drive. So this Essential Package Drive is designed in such a way that people can actually contribute from as little as 20 pula. And I mean, it's not much for a lot of you. And I wish at the end of this program, when I give you their contact details or their Facebook details, you'll be able to contribute how much you have so that they can actually be able to raise this money. What they're using with this money is that they're putting it together and purchasing supplies, certain things, basics that these vendors don't have because, well, they're not going to the streets during the lockdown. And then the other one that they have is called Register a Vendor Drive. The idea behind the Register a Vendor Drive is that they may not be able to reach out to that vendor in your community, but you may know the vendor. So what you do is you take their details and actually send a message, giving them the details, the name of the vendor, which area they're in, and the contact details so that they can register them in their system, and in that way that vendor can benefit. And then also there is also what they're calling the Virtual Vendor Challenge. I think it's my favorite after the vendor mental health. So what I love about this is that it challenges people to still do things that ordinarily will be done by someone like their house helper or their gardener. For instance, they say that if you cut your grass, you still pay your gardener. If you wash your clothes, if you clean the house, you still pay your maid. And you may not have a maid, you may not have a gardener, you may not need one, but there is a gardener out there that doesn't have the salary that they normally depend on, the weekly wage that they normally get. So when you do something like washing your car, you actually pay through those guys. In that way, you are supporting the cause. And it's also not just really about supporting them specifically, but making sure that your house helper, even though she's not coming to work, she's paid in a way, the gardener is paid in a way. And I think that's actually a very cool program. And then the other one that they have is the Volunteer Your Skills. This one is just generally open to everybody. If you're Mantate and able to speak in front of the camera, how do you use your skills to make sure that you raise awareness about what these guys are doing? If you're out there, you're good with posting posted designs, you're good with video editing, whatever skills that you have that you can actually offer to these guys, they're really just open to them, because the idea is it's not just them. They've got a hashtag that I like that's called each one reach one. So really it's just challenging all of us. If I can reach one person, if I'm reaching out to you on my screen right now, and you're able to reach out to another person, we've got friends, colleagues, family in Botswana who will be able to really do so much. And not just that, it's for people in Botswana. You can go to their Facebook page. The Facebook page is called the Vendors Drive. So when you go to the Vendors Drive, you actually like the work that they're doing and share it, because you don't know who in your timeline can actually read that, even though they're outside Botswana, within Botswana, that can actually help these guys, because I really think they're doing something great and we need to support them. And for the purposes of information, if you need more information from these guys, their email address is info@aas.org.bw. So you can replay this video to make sure that you get the email. And then the WhatsApp number that they're using is +267 7199 3735. You can also replay for that number again. The last number that they're using for text is +267 764 754 So you can just use any of this information to reach out to those guys. But at the end of the day, my point really is, this is someone that decided to take a stand and bridge the gap. We can complain about how government is not providing social services for those people that are affected by the lockdown. But the truth is, there's people out there that are doing something. What are you doing to make sure that you help these guys? And I hope that it also inspires people in different countries, because this is Botswana doing it. But imagine someone taking up the initiative and doing it in Zimbabwe, because we also have people here that need that level of support. Or someone in Malawi. It can be anyone, anyway. But the idea is do something, each one of us reaching one person at a time, and I believe we can make a difference. So that's what I have for you guys today on The Good News Is. I hope you join me tomorrow again for another session of our awesome news. Cheers. Thank you.